rAge, there's a history here that's always just going to make it what it is. They were the first, and I think that a lot of people don't really respect what they did for us. If you're a gamer, what they did for gaming. I think when you have a story that is that prolific and that historic, you're never going to be able to beat that ever.
What does rAge mean to the people?
It's about Oaks that spent months to get their cosplay together for thousands of people to come and see each other do awesome stuff. And for the gamers to get out of their dungeons and to meet some more people who love to do stuff like they do.
I think that both of us need to stop doing interviews forever.
rAge has always been for everyone, and we've seen over the years it's changed a lot. We've got more females playing games now, which is amazing, and more people that represent South Africa, like our proper demographic coming to the show. So
I think the thing about rAge is that it set itself as a cultural pillar for every single year that you would be there.
Game begin.
The hottest games, the hottest hardware, the hottest competitions. Welcome to rAge 2004. Make sure you're here every day.
Why am I dressed like this? Because I'm cosplaying.
Right. Okay, do you want to explain what that is for the noobs who don't understand?
Okay, well basically cosplaying is when you dress up as a character that you like from either an anime or a cartoon or even a movie.
Self-proclaimed professor of South African gaming.
It's fantastic. I mean, if you look at just the number of people here, I almost found it impossible to find a parking spot outside. It's really doing a lot to draw new people into gaming.
So rAge has been around for almost 20 years, right? They cemented a culture in this country that nobody else could.
I mean, it's been going 18 years now. I think I went to the first rAge, but I think I only went, let's just put it this way, I went as a spectator a few times, back in the probably early 2000s. And then my first actual competitive rAge was in 2005.
This is the rAge Computer, Gaming and Technology Expo at the Dome at Northgate in Johannesburg. Let's go find out what this is all about.
The lines, the deals, the tech. And Paris Hilton? Technology might have gotten better, but the memories will always be the same. This was the beginning of building a new generation of gamers, all as a unified community. A place you could always call home.
With rAge, they were there in the beginning. They made me feel cool when nowhere else I felt cool. They made my interests in gaming feel cool.
Such a cool thing, brings families and brings everyone together, I think.
That's just the feeling of rAge, is pure South African wholesomeness.
It became the pillar for competitive gaming in a lot of ways throughout the years. The people, for DGL way back when, which advanced into VS gaming.
They started seeing the value in esports and invested in the grassroots level in terms of esports. And I think that's what has made rAge so special.
I've been to almost every rAge for the last 20 years. I've gotten to know them and how they do things, and from a player to a visitor to a LANer to a competitor to a tournament organizer, They've just always tried to be as authentic as possible.
Once in a lifetime experience.
It's such a nice vibe. Like if there's new games coming out,
new gadgets, new computer equipment.
You get to play games that you never played before.
Every aspect in gaming, a lot of artists. You see the cosplay,
a lot of different characters. Guys are really dressing up.
Love it.
I love rAge.
More than expected.
Very excited.
The experience is massive.
Embrace
the experience.
It is amazing, different. Oceans of my fun.
And then they had the expo, you know, where you had your kind of like your other nerds in a sense, your comic book lovers, and I think they just did a really good job with bringing everything in one. And you know, it was like one place where everyone could come and have. You know, it met everyone's needs and everyone could have fun, you know.
We started basically in the basement, in the garages, trying to grow a scene. We've all grown organically along the way. I would say where do I fit in this ecosystem is that I was there at the start and I promoted it more professional, not just from the teams itself, interacting with brands.
So like, I think if we just go to the beginning of this whole thing. I think before like I started professionally taking photos within the esports scene for rAge, I was just a gaming fanboy. You know, rAge was this place that, you know, I know they marketed it as Planet rAge, where, you know, the fans could just escape, and that's what it was.
And I remember, this is like a vivid thing for me, was being on the main sort of floor, and it's all the lights, and it's dark, and it's everyone shouting. Yeah, all these people, and then you sort of go down these elevators, the lights come on because you realize you're in daylight, but it kind of went quiet. And when I say quiet, you could still hear people shouting downstairs, but it was a much more quieter, calm. But the energy was the thing that I just remembered, and it was just everyone, there was like this competitive vibe, and you could feel this tenseness.
One of the things I've always disliked competing at rAge was that I always missed half of what was happening at rAge because we were downstairs and we were like just playing these competitions day in, day out for 4 days that rAge kind of from Thursday to Sunday.
And I walked in, I actually saw Shaz, one of the first people. Shaz is Shaz Wason. She's a prolific CSGO competitor in South Africa.
Sure, my first ever memory for rAge, I'll never forget it. I think it was back in 2007, and the competitive area was basically downstairs with the open LAN, and we sat in a queue for hours because I mean we were young. I think I was about 14, 15 years old, and I still remember just sitting there with my mates, just sitting in there for hours in the sun. It was hot, and you were just still amped. You were just so excited just to get in.
With every possibility, you're making all of me undone. Not so sure yet, but I think that I might.
Well, first memory would be waiting in the obvious 3 to 4 hour queue heading into the LAN downstairs. Originally, you'd come in and there's like these kind of like, call it subway-like entrance heading into the underground area. You'd go through that PC check-in, make sure you're not going to short out 2,000 other LANers. They give you your first sort of shaved cable. So that was the first time I actually had my first sort of call it surge protected cable. I mean, if you don't have a red point cable, you've never been to rAge, you know.
Oh gosh. So I started going to rAge I'm a bit hazy on the exact dates. I think it's either 2006 or 2007. It's one of the two. I will never forget walking into rAge for the very first time and being like, I have found my people.
I feel like rAge is the one moment in the year where all the gaming people you go there and you see everybody, all your friends in the scene, the Tekken guys, the FIFA guys, the Dota guys, the CS guys, everybody's just there together.
I'm quite aged now, so whenever I wanted to find out the latest and greatest news or get the latest tech or the latest equipment, that was the one time a year that I got to actually spend my money on something that that I really wanted because it was the one place where everything was available.
This was also, people forget that this was before online shopping existed. So if you wanted really cool stuff, you got it once a year at rAge and on special. So that was where you went because you knew you could get the best PC parts, you could get new games. So it was like our yearly shop, and that's what kept us going back.
My very first physical event was actually where we were working for, essentially what introduced our company in a lot of ways was the Call of Duty Mag Cup in 2016. And for us, that was a landmark event, not only for our company, but I think for Call of Duty as a whole on the continent. Sitting on the stands of watching our very first event with the opening of the Celebrity Showdown for that Call of Duty Mag Cup event, and just seeing everything come together and it actually working. I think going into these events, you always have so much trepidation and wonder whether things are going to work out as you envisioned it. And it was everything and more that we hoped for. So sitting on there, that was just a very, very special moment to have an international commentator coming all the way down from the UK, from MLG side of things.
Hey, what is up, everybody? My name is Nick Holden, and I'm joined by the delightful man himself, all the way from New York, Mr. Ben Bowie Benson.
To being able to see Jack Parrow playing up against some of the best Call of Duty players in the country, as well as some other celebrities that were there. The banter was absolutely amazing, and that was a very, very, very special moment for me.
You just call me Donovan Goliath's brother.
Well, isn't that your claim to fame?
Yeah, my claim to fame is also being a much bigger comedian than you.
Lights, massive crowds, long queues, the white dome from the distance. It may have started as a small idea, but rAge evolved into something massive.
Generally hosting a beautiful venue. 2014, of course, was no different. Was at the then Coca-Cola Dome, the now Ticket Pro Dome, and you walk in there and there's lights and there's scale. Everything is so big and so bizarre. And 2014 was my first rAge because I once in Cape Town, I never had the opportunity. I always heard about rAge, knew it existed, but until you actually go there and you see it and you're like, wow, is this South Africa? We actually have something like this.
I think a lot of rAge is down to the feeling you get.
Nerd culture is rAge, and I'm a nerd, so I'm down with the diggy.
It was a place where, gamers, techies, nerds, geeks could just go to and just enjoy themselves. And it was the first, I would say, expo of its kind in this country that sort of gave us gamers and, guys who love tech and, geek culture a place to, just geek out really hard. So that's what I would say that's one of the things that always attracted me to rAge.
It was just the diversity of what rAge was. It was initially all about gaming and tech, and then the cosplayers started coming. I think what keeps me going at rAge is to see the evolution of what happens with rAge. I mean, esports suddenly became a big thing in rAge, and it's a great way for everyone to just come and meet up and be among people of like-minded, gaming, cosplay, that kind of thing.
The community feeling is the thing that, for me, always kept me coming back. Even when I was actually actively in the sort of gaming media space, it was still the community stuff that kept me coming back more than anything else.
rAge, it's a place for us nerds to get together.
I've been to so many rAges. I've cosplayed in every single one of them. I cosplayed last year, and it's just getting better every year. I feel like this year is the best rAge I've ever been to. Everybody is in such a good mood. Everybody's having fun.
This is the NAG LAN. It's an open LAN session where guys basically have spent the whole weekend gaming.
Is obviously the NAG LAN, where we have over 2,000 people that come from all over the country. With all these people that you've been jamming with online and on Discord, you actually get to meet them in real life and meet your friends.
Yeah, I think rAge just did a great job, making it a huge open LAN and then also having a competitive side so that, it kind of split the gamers. But it was like there was fun for everyone.
Can I just say the Rage Donuts is my best memory?
If you don't have those mini donuts, did you even go to Rage, right?
The mini donuts are a staple of Rage. If that gets taken away, I'm never coming to Rage again.
Probably. How many people say mini donuts?
Oh, you're talking about with like the caramel and the chocolate on top of it and stuff? Oh, yeah.
This is a staple at Rage. You have to. If you don't get mini donuts, you haven't been at Rage.
There's like a
We're rising up, rising up. This is our time we come together. Time we come together.
Actually getting a little bit emotional about it because it's quite a big deal to me. You know, when we talk about places like Rage, obviously everyone knows it, but no one really thinks back anymore about how much NAG did for the community as far as, you know, their magazine. I still have stacks of them and who they were. So now, you know, fast forward, you know, many years, I would not be where I am today without NAG stepping in and wanting to just give someone a chance. And I think it's a testament to how much they actually care about games, how this is a brand that truly loves gamers.
Well, rAge is South Africa's first gaming and technology expo, and the whole point of it is to grow gaming in the country.
We're imposing a travel ban. Gatherings of more than 100 people will be prohibited.
COVID has forced so many people to think outside the box to see how we can move forward.
I think that NAG going online or Rage going online is great because it means the show goes on.
In these circumstances, I believe that it is paramount and so important for Rage to have this digital presence.
Hand in hand, they're both needed. There's a place for both of them. At the end of the day, people will always want that emotional connection with people.
It's the human component about Rage that makes Rage what it is.
I'd like to see an element of what's happening with the digital Rage now get brought into and go alongside with the future events.
I feel like the online Rage gives people a peek into what they could be missing.
I think it makes sense. The climate is right for it.
There is a space for, I mean, online communities are really a very big part. If you just look at like Discord, you know, like online communities are just a very big part of gaming.
Gaming is a digital activity, you know, so 70% of it is going to be at home, it's going to be online, but those physical interactions, being in the same environment, having that controlled environment, feeling the energy of your peers, nothing replaces that.
Look, I think what the Rage team and the Comic-Con team and all these teams are doing this year to make these expos work online is a phenomenal job. Credit to them. But no ways, the future is still expos. The online stuff is great for now, but just for now.
I need to be at LAN, man. I gotta see people. I need the lights, I need the noise, I need the mini donuts.
I feel like I would always like to see a physical version, but that also might just be because I'm older.
It really is gaming under one roof, and I don't think you're going to necessarily get as much of a core experience like that anywhere else in South Africa.
What Rage has is something that the entire gaming scene lacks in South Africa, and they have instilled a culture. Rage has a legacy behind it. Nobody has to be asked to come to Rage anymore. People want to go to Rage.
I think Rage doesn't have to separate themselves because they're Rage. Something phenomenal will always happen, and there'll be lots of things that'll copy it, or lots of people that'll copy it, but you can never be better than the original.
I think it's the whole culture and just the people that love it and celebrate it. I guess that really talks to me because I know what those people, I know who those people are because I'm kind of those people.
This feels like home, if that makes sense.
Feel like you're there where you belong.
Yeah, I think that's always been a big part about Rage. It's a culture now. It's got many subcultures.
Thanks to everyone that's either been to the show or helped put the show on. because I'm like nothing just by myself, but you need teams of people to make everything happen. Everything from guys that lay the carpets right up to guys that are running the production on one of these big esports stages. Every tiny little component of that show is like critical to the success of it, and that's just only half of it. The other half, of course, all the people that are coming to visit and support it, and they keep coming back every year. So it's always just thanks to everyone.
We want to thank all of you for your undying support in helping us build this community and turning it into our new home. And even though we're all separated physically, it's times like these that show our resolve as a community. We are always stronger together. rAge Gaming Expo, 18 years of greatness.